The Zipheads, rock and roll renaissance, bomber music, due out in June 2025. This is the third album by the psychobilly ensemble hailing from St Albans, the Zipheads. The more I listen to it, and it is on repeat, the more I'm convinced that it is a work of some considerable genius. The album kicks off with the title track Rock and Roll Renaissance First Movement. This staccato opening number demonstrates the band's military precision playing style and gets the album off to a punky start that continues exactly where Z2 Rampage left off. The song benefits from a blaring horn section that leads into the breakdown. Lyrically, there are Zipheads trademarks. Ray is fond of the monotetra. He uses the quatrain, which is a 4-line stanza, and each quatrain consists of mono-rhymed lines, so each line in the stanza has the same type of rhyme. We can see this in the first verse, but also in the breakdown where Ray says, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the rock and roll renaissance. Over the course of the next 30 minutes, the Zipheads will take you on a voyage, an auditory, exploratory, fantastical story of musical glory." In the same song, Ray uses the same device again when he sings a celebration and salutation of the rock and roll creation through its formation and its many mutations. It is jolly effective. Happiness is a terrific pop song that sits perfectly stylistically speaking between the band's first two albums. The song also has some nice brass on it. Third track, Hold Tight, borrows a little from Prehistoric Beat in terms of its vocal pattern. It is also wonderfully catchy in its melody and has a country rockabilly feel. The single, How Do You Like Me Now, is a delightful slab of pop with fantastic guitar work. It also sees Ray using the monotetra again when he sings I've Been Waiting, contemplating, regenerating, hibernating. Incestuous is a brilliant pop-punk song based around an incredibly catchy melody that makes the song perhaps my favourite on the album. Why Say You Do is a catchy new wave number that could be straight out of Elvis Costello's songbook. It concludes with a lovely doo-wop section. We then have something of a classical interlude with a harpsichord playing what sounds rather like Renaissance music. Then we are back to the album proper. Funny is another great song with faint echoes of Rampage. Mandy begins with the floor tom, rather like John Layton's Johnny Remember Me, and thereafter features some very good songwriting. Everybody Knows is Don't Pretend, Part 2, and as such is gloriously good. It begins with a note played on a lap steel, and from there on in it is a delightful country rockabilly track. Top of the World has an air of manslaughter from the first LP about it, but it is better. Even Lonely Teardrops, the Jackie Wilson cover that I was initially a bit wary of, is terrific and features what may well be Ray's best vocal performance to date. The Jackie Wilson classic is given a Zipheads reggae feel and is marvellous. Overall, I must say that this is something of a masterpiece. It warrants repeated listens. Absolutely top drawer stuff from one of the very best bands around. Alongside the genius songwriting, guitarist and vocalist that is Ray Waters, the band is handsomely endowed with two of the top musicians on the scene in Dick Dynamite on double bass and Will Bennett on drums. I implore you all to buy a copy of this album.